The information provided by Trading Forex Price Action to you does not constitute personal financial advice. The information provided is of a general nature only and does not take into account your individual objectives, financial situation, or needs. It should not be used, relied upon, or treated as a substitute for specific professional advice.
Weekly Forecast.
Hey guys, this is a weekly forecast for September 20th through the 24th of 2021. Okay, we'll start with the dollar-yen pair. This is a monthly chart. We'll start off with an overview. So ultimately, I'm expecting price to reach this 101 pivot low right here. But before that, we're talking about the pullback to 104 to 109 and then down to this 101 level. So in the long term, I'm still short bias right back down to this pivot low right here. However, on the weekly chart, since there is more short strength than long strength, in the short term, I am short biased right back down to this pivot low right here. Okay, let's talk entries. Alright, this is a weekly chart. Let me run you by the setup I've been looking at for the past couple of months. So the last weekly long trade that formed was right here, with the stop loss at this pivot low right here. And so if you recall, I took a long entry right up to these 109 levels right here. However, at this point, I took out the entire position due to the possibility of this weekly long trade's target being hit at a strong monthly trend line that runs right through this level right here. However, as price pulled back in this area, I was mentioning there's still a lot of long momentum left, and so price burst up another leg and came right back down to these levels. And then at this point right here on the daily chart, there was a strong daily long trade that formed with a stop loss at this pivot low right here. And so I took a long entry. However, if you recall, I took out 90% of the entire position roughly at these levels right here, due to the possibility that in fact, this last weekly long trade's main target was hit at this level. However, soon after on the daily chart, there were many consecutive weak daily short trades that formed in these areas. Now, when consecutive weak short trades form against a strong trade on that same time frame, that's a common price action setup that shows short-term long strength. And thus I left 10% in of that daily long trades position all the way up to these levels right here. And at this point, I took out another 5% due to another monthly strong downward trend line that runs right through these levels. And then 2 weeks later, there was a strong weekly short trade that formed right here. And so at this point, I took out the remaining 5% of that long position. And then moreover, as price fell to these levels right here, roughly 2 weeks ago, there was a weak long trade that formed. Thus, the current weekly bias is short, or in other words, price is likely to reach this pivot low right here before reaching this pivot high. And so as price pulled back in these levels right here, I was looking for opportunities for short entries, again with the stop loss at this pivot high right here and its main target being here. However, for multiple reasons, I wasn't able to take any short entries. However, if price does pull back to these 110.65 levels, I'll be willing to take a short entry with the stop loss at this pivot high right here and its main target being right down here, and extension targets right back down to that last daily long trade stop loss level, which is right here. Alright, so let me just run you by the reason why I did not take these pullbacks for a short entry for the past couple of weeks. So let's go over to the daily chart. Alright, so on this daily chart, there are two opportunities for me to take a short entry, one at this level right here and another one at this point right here. Again, with both stop losses at this pivot high right here and its main target being right back down here. Now, the reason why I didn't take this initial pullback right here to these 110.65 levels is simply because this was the month of August when trading liquidity was low. So I didn't want to take any short positions in such a congested market. And then moreover, 2 weeks ago on this point right here, if you recall, I was mentioning that price could possibly pull back to this pivot high right here. Again, for the reason that there was a daily short trade that formed right here, which already hit its target at a monthly gap level right here. And since price has a tendency to stop out the traders that are on the wrong side of the market, I was expecting a pullback at least to these levels right here. However, again, I did not take this short entry on this pullback because I'm only willing to take high quality trades. So what I mean by that is that if price pulled back to these 110.65 levels, again with the stop loss at this pivot high and its main target at this pivot low, at that point, if I enter at these levels, that would be about a medium quality trade. So in other words, the risk would be this height right here and the reward will be this height right here. So it's roughly about 1 to 2.5. with 2.5 being the reward. Okay, so for the time being, if price does not reach its main target at this level right here and gives another pullback to these 110.65 levels, I'll be willing to take a short entry with a stop loss at this pivot high right here and its main target right here. Okay, moreover, let me just show you what type of market this pair is in. So let's go over to the monthly chart. Okay, so on this monthly chart, price is basically stuck between two gaps, one at this level right here and another slightly smaller one at this level right here. Let me just show you the price levels for that. So the upper level is 111.61 and the lower level here is 111.03. And the lower gap, the higher level, is at 109.72 and the lower one is at 109.23. Now in terms of short entries, if price pulls back to this 110.65 level and I do take a short entry, that possible extension target I was talking about will be at this even lower gap level right here. Now this gap, in comparison to the others, is rather large. So in other words, it does show a lot more long strength than the other ones. So if price pulls down to these levels, I will be looking to take extension targets out roughly at these levels right here. Okay, and moreover, like I mentioned in the overview, if price is going to reach this 101 pivot low right here, the main level that I want to see monthly price get past and close beyond is this lower gap right here. So even if price does get to this gap right here, I'm expecting a lot of collision between the buyers and the sellers. Alright, so let me just sum this up for you. Let's go back to the weekly chart. Alright, so again on this weekly chart, the bias is short, or in other words, price is likely to reach this pivot low right here before reaching this pivot high. So if price gives a pullback to his 110.65 levels right here, I'll be willing to take a short entry with a stop loss at this pivot high right here and its main target being at this pivot low right here. However, like always, I'm always looking for any compact long price action to form, which shows strong long strength. And if this compact long price action forms, I would immediately change my weekly bias from short into long, or in other words, price is now likely to reach this pivot high right here before reaching the hypothetical compact long price action's pivot low. Alright, let's go on to the Euro-Yen pair. Okay, and if you're having trouble understanding what I'm talking about in terms of weekly biases and strong and weak long trades, please watch my price action trading course, for that course is designed to provide you the necessary information so you can understand these forecasts and analysis. Okay, this is a Euro-Yen weekly chart. We'll start off with an overview. So the last weekly long trade that formed was right here with the stop loss at this pivot low right here. However, in this area right here, there was possible compact short price action that formed, which shows strong short strength. So in the long term, I'm short bias right back down to this last weekly long trade stop loss level right here. Moreover, on the daily chart, although there was a weak long trade and a strong short trade that formed right here, there's a possibility that this daily short trade hit its target at a monthly gap level that runs right through here. So in the short term, I am neutral biased. Okay, let's talk entries. Okay, this is a weekly chart. Let me run you by the setup I've been looking at for the past couple of months. So again, there was a weekly long trade that formed right here with the stop loss at this pivot low right here. Then as price came up to these levels right here, there was a weak short trade that formed right here. So as price pulled back in these levels, I was constantly looking for long entries, with this main target being at this pivot high right here. And then moreover, there was another weak short trade that formed right here. So as price pulled back, again, I was looking for long entries, with the main target being at this new pivot high right here. And as price came up to these levels, there were two weekly short trades that formed right here that were actually stronger than this last weekly long trade. However, both these short trades hit its target at a monthly gap level right here, which is actually the gap level that we're on right now. And so again, as price pulled down, I was still looking for long entries, with this main target at these new pivot highs as a target. And the moreover, as price came up to these levels, roughly 3 months ago at this level right here, there was possible compact short price action that formed, which shows strong short strength. And although this compact short price action was not fully confirmed, it was partial confirmation on the daily chart in this area right here. And so if you recall, as price pulled back in this area, I took a short entry at this 132.30 level right here with the stop loss at this pivot high, and its main target being right back down here with the last weekly long trade stop losses. Then as price fell down to these levels right here, in that process, there was further confirmation on the daily chart of this possible compact short price action. So at this point, there's about 90% confirmation of this compact short price action. And at the current moment, price is trying to get through this monthly gap level right here, which I mentioned earlier at these levels right here. Now this is a strong level that produces a lot of long strength. However, price can even dip down to this pivot low right here, where another daily strong long trade formed to stop it out at this pivot low. That will even further confirm the legitimacy of this compact short price action that formed right here. Okay, and moreover, there are some intraday setups in this area right here to trade along with this weekly short bias. So let me go ahead and explain those setups to you that formed in this area. Let's go over to the daily chart. Okay, so on this daily chart, that initial short entry I took was at this 132.30 levels right here, with the stop loss at this pivot high right here, and this main target being way down below. Now, if you recall, a couple weeks back, I did take a short entry right here, which was stopped out at this pivot high right here due to bad trade management. And moreover, about 2 weeks ago, there was actually another short entry that formed right here, with a stop loss at this pivot high right here, with this main target roughly at these levels right here. Now, as price pulled back in this point right here, I was enticed to take a short entry. However, as you guys know, if I'm not trading aggressively, I do not take short entries where the catalyst for the price movement is due to the NFP release. And this red entry candle was actually on the same day as the NFP release. And thus, I did not take this pullback to the stop loss for a short entry. So the key thing here I want to express is that typically, if I'm taking an intraday short trade along with a higher time frames bias, the main target will be at the opposing long trade stop loss level, which is at this pivot low right here. However, my main target in this case was at this level right here. Now, the reason being is because, like I mentioned earlier, current price is within a monthly gap level that runs right through these levels. That could possibly be a target for this short entry. Now, due to the fact that there was possible compact short price action that is continuously applying short strength along this entire leg, there is a possibility that price would ignore this monthly gap level and easily get through it. However, since I'm trading conservatively, the only way I would take another short entry along with a higher time frame short buys is if price could pull back and then make another daily short trade, or perhaps even a weekly short trade. However, in both cases, I would take both targets at this monthly gap level right here and only leaving a portion in to see if it could go to lower levels. And again, both stop losses will be at the hypothetical short trades pivot high levels. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you this monthly gap level. Let's go over to the monthly chart. Okay, so on this monthly chart, that gap level I'm referring to is this gap right here. Now, this is about a medium gap. However, it is strong enough to be a target for any weekly or daily short trade. So at this point, again, in terms of entries, I will need price to pull back as much as possible and have a strong daily or weekly short trade to form. Now, keep the stop loss at those pivot highs, but its main target will be at the higher ledge of this monthly gap level, which is right here, and only leaving a portion in to see if it could extend further. Alright, so let me just show you the levels for this gap. Okay, the upper end of this gap is at 129.44 and the lower end will be at 128.53. Now, one thing to remember about gaps is that they often provide as targets for lower time frame trades, and this works both ways. So if there's a long trade that forms on the daily or weekly chart, this monthly gap often provides as a target, and when targets are reached, as you guys know, price pulls right back down to stop out the traders that are still in that long trade at that pivot low. So it would be wise to have these gap levels on the higher time frames. In my case, I just highlight it like so. Okay, so for the time being, there doesn't seem to be any long strong price action that will push price back up to that initial short trade stop loss level roughly in these areas right here. So the health of that short trade is still healthy. However, I'm always looking for any compact long price action to form, in which case this does form, I will change this weekly bias from short into long immediately. Alright, so that's it for the weekly forecast. I hope you guys have a great week, and thanks for watching. Okay, bye.